Hey everyone, welcome back to You Seem Normal. Today we are going to be talking about Simone Biles, how she pulled out of the Tokyo 2020 women's team gymnastics final and other events because of her mental well-being, and how her mental well-being ties up with her physical well-being. So let's talk about why this is so huge. So when I heard about the news, I posted this Instagram that was like, your mental health is more important than a medal. And that's a radical statement. And so is it a radical statement? Are the actions of Simone Biles radical? And the answer is they really shouldn't be, but they totally are. This is not something that we see day to day, year to year. How often do you see an internationally famous person on a worldwide stage pull out cited for reasons of mental health? Seen it, but is it often? I actually think it's more normal and acceptable for an international pop star to pull out of some event because they're hungover. That'd be fine. I'd be fine with that if I was an audience member. Oh, I get it. We've all been there. We haven't all been there. We haven't all been there to the pressure that, Simone Biles endures. Also think of the scale of the Olympics. It's not an easy decision to say, I think I'm just going to sit out the Olympics. It's not just not really feeling it today. I think I'll just reschedule me. It's a huge deal. So no one's saying that Simone Biles isn't going to or hasn't faced any consequences for not following through with a commitment as big as this. There certainly will be, I would think, monetarily, as far as medals and corporate sponsorships, just different things, right? But it's that she decided that those consequences were less severe than if she were to harm her mental and physical well-being by, carrying out these events, by competing in these events. That's huge. That's huge. How often is it that we put ourselves over success, accomplishment, doing what we set out to do, goals, what other people think we should do, etc. Huge, 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 huge. Okay, but we don't want to discount the role of race at the same time in this circumstance. So Simone has various intersecting identities, being an athlete and Black and a woman. As Black women, such as Simone Biles, are often at the forefront of change, and they're commonly those that lead the way on these social issues, even when it seems like other groups are. So we see this constant self-sacrifice from Black women. And so imagine if Simone had competed, that would be another self-sacrifice from a Black woman for the greater good, or what people think she should be doing. So Simone's disrupting that. She's trailblazing, and reverse, she actually cited that Naomi Osaka was part of her inspiration, or part of her, for doing so. So goes both ways. And Burnett Ziegler, a clinical psychologist in psychiatry and behavioral sciences at Northwestern, said the experience of Black women being in pain that's unacknowledged is a common one. And then also Olympic swimmer Simone Manuel was diagnosed with burnout and said being a Black person in America played a part in it. We do not want to discount the role of race contributing to how radical or how huge her actions and decisions are. Getting away from sort of Simone Biles herself and individual cases of this, I have a lot of thoughts about the problem surrounding it. So one of these problems is that in America, you have to be on the verge of mental or physical breakdown to be able to rest, to be seen that it's okay to take a break. You have to be at your breaking point. That remains true with this case, and that remains a problematic belief. So imagine if Simone would have taken a break in practices or before the games. We probably wouldn't even know that happened because it wouldn't be made as big news. And we wouldn't celebrate it very much. We wouldn't celebrate it as we would being wow, she just pulled out of the Olympics. Power to her. We wouldn't say the same thing, I don't think, if she happened to take a break from training. So it's the preventive measures that need to happen in order for us to care for ourselves. And not that it's all about preventive measures, it's also about systemic change, but they're not going to receive the praise that like these huge glorious events do. But when we're at our breaking point and we choose to protect our bodies and minds, then it's a huge deal to be celebrated. A Vox headline said that Gen Z is taking a lead on mental health, and my reaction was like, maybe? Like, we're certainly talking about it more like on social media, and you probably know like what your friends' issues are. Like, are we doing anything to make it better? Because there's always been mental health advocates in every generation. So like, what's actually changing? So like, this Vox article says that many say that bigger systemic changes such as universal basic income and universal health care are needed to truly decouple people's well-being from their jobs. It's kind of like, is Gen Z, I don't know. So clearly I'm passionate about this topic, but I've also been thinking about this quote that I saw on Instagram, and it says something like, may your critique always be greater than your, no. May your critique never outweigh your contribution to the cause, which I love. I think that's awesome. You're critiquing it, but also can you put some good momentum toward it if you really are like, don't like what's happening, you know? So it's got me thinking like, are we just sitting around talking about it? Or like, what more can I do? And one of the ways I think is in whatever realm you're in. Like if you're in a certain job, perhaps you could ask about what might be the policies in place. If someone were to need a mental health day, if I were in education, how can I support the students and say, how can we best support students when they need to take a break and it's not because of a physical ailment? In your friend group, somebody can't go to whatever, or it doesn't seem like they're very enthusiastic about whatever. Perhaps you could allow them a pass to not, and you could let them say why, which is they're mentally not doing well, instead of having them create an excuse that feels more comfortable for the rest of you. I don't know, whatever sphere you're in, there are definitely some ideas. At the same time though, those systemic changes, what can we do? No, I'm like asking like, what can we do? Will you follow Simone's examples of boundary setting in your life? Will you allow others to do the same? Will you encourage others? Will you celebrate others who do the same? So please leave in the comments how Simone's actions have affected you, and your thoughts on like if Gen Z is leading this sort of mental health charge. I don't know. If we are, I want to know your thoughts. Leave them. And I will see you next week. Thanks so much for watching. Bye.